I am from Macau, and it is an ex-Portuguese colony 40 miles away from Hong Kong. And at the moment, this is like the new gambling capital of the world, with a revenue 4 times bigger than Las Vegas, which is quite impressive. And they are continuing enjoying 2-digit annual growth. I bet a lot of you wonder why, my name is Fernando Lourenco, a name, which is like, it's Portuguese, and why am I contributing to a Chinese program? And the reason is because my parents, they are both mixed race. So I have a bit of Portuguese, Singaporean, Chinese and Macanese, so I'm like a cocktail. So I've moved to the UK in 1996 and I've been here for about 15 years.
Wow, what an interesting background you got. As a senior lecturer and unit leader at the Manchester Metropolitan University Business School, what modules do you teach? And what are they about?
Teaching-wise, it is about developing students' entrepreneurial skills, such as being more alert to opportunities, being more creative and innovative, developing strategies, and so on. I also cover practical aspects of entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial activities within organizations, such as strategic entrepreneurship, opportunity identification, and innovation. And I also promote sustainability and social responsibility and ethics in an instrumental approach that suits business and entrepreneurial activity. What I do, it's not only about a particular subject. I believe that education should be for practice. And that is the gap that I am working on. In terms of my approach, like myself and a few partners, we won the National Enterprise Educator Award in the UK in 2009.
Wow, well
with
done.
my colleague, and he's called David Taylor and Tony Taylor. And for a unit that we have developed that aims to build students' entrepreneurial behavior and allow them to experience the whole entrepreneurial process, such as identifying, validating, and exploiting business opportunity via business startup in our university business incubator called the InnoSpace. So we treat them like real entrepreneurs, which is quite interesting. We have also integrated this program in quite a lot of colleges in Greater Manchester, and we also piloted in a number of European countries, and at the moment we are also trying to negotiate some deals with the Asian university and in the Middle East. So fingers crossed, let's hope it all works. And now, in terms of researching, at the moment I look into the cognitive and thinking processes of people in order to understand how they think, how people create their perceptions, values, understanding, learning, motivation, and intentions leading to a particular behavior. So at the moment, my scope is really around entrepreneurship, ethics, social responsibility, sustainability, learning, and education. But my aim is to understand people and then propose ways to manipulate the situation in order to create outcomes that will bring more social value. So this year, I'm 32, I'm still quite young as an academic. So I have only recently started my publishing career. I have a number of papers accepted for publication and shall be publishing in the next few years. And at the moment, I'm also developing a number of papers for next year and have multiple projects, so to keep me busy and happy for a while.
That's a lot of achievement you have done. Thanks for sharing with us.
Yeah.
Could I ask, when did you first discover you had interest in entrepreneurship education, and why did you decide to choose lecturing and researching as the career for you?
Well, a long but interesting story. Let me give you a brief about this whole journey.
Yes.
And I was a design student at Kingston University trying to build a career in the creative industry. But during this process of learning, I've developed a passion for social design. And that is developing solutions to tackle real social problems instead of designing things just for people to buy, just to fulfill people's material needs. So this inner moral development process of mine led me to having some issues with the paradigm of the design course at Kingston University, which made me feel even more passionate about my new direction for social change and improvement. So for this reason, then later I went to Cranfield University, doing a master's in manufacturing with a focus on sustainability and design. So this course really enlightened my new passion. It taught me that there are actually ways and solutions to sustain economic prosperity, social well-being, and environmental protection. However, later on, I realized that having the solution is one thing, but having solutions implemented and accepted is another, and it is quite difficult. And then I asked myself, Fernando, what are the drivers for change? And my answer was business. Then I asked myself another question. How are businesses created? Then my answer was entrepreneurship, and which is the creation of new forms of a business enterprise to serve people and to add value. And for this same reason, if I want sustainable solutions to be implemented, what I needed to learn is entrepreneurship. So then I spent a year working as a freelance and work on a proposal for my PhD research aiming to get full studentship and funding. And out of many offers that I got, I selected Manchester Metropolitan University Business School because it gave me total freedom to investigate my topic and a chance to do another master in research methodology and philosophy, and followed by 3 years of research funding, of PhD research. And while doing my PhD research, I began to realize that if I want to see change, the most important element is education. Because via education, a person is developed with values, perceptions, attitudes, and knowledge that will guide their future behavior. And for this same reason, if I want a future that includes the value of sustainability, that is, appreciating the importance of economic prosperity, social well-being, and environmental protection, I should start from the education perspective. And hence, my passion for entrepreneurship education emerged. And my aim is to promote and stimulate more sustainable forms of entrepreneurial activity to meet the aims of sustainability via education. And I believe that my energy and passion is best used in this way because I can multiply my impact. I can inspire people, change people, and educate people to create a better world for us now and for future generation.
Wow,
yeah.
What a story.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I always tell my students because I think, like sometimes we need a strong vision to motivate ourselves to move forward.
Right. So you're saying your interest is from the real life of your own experience and which encourage you and motivate you.
Exactly.
Could I ask what has made you decide to come UK as you were from Macau, right? Why you come to UK and study? And do you feel any different about the education system in Macau and the UK, for example, in terms of the culture and social environment?
Well, I've got another interesting to tell as well. In the past, a lot of people don't believe what I'm doing at the moment because I was a really, really, really bad student, full of energy, but only to mess around, entertain and make people laugh. I was the class clown, yeah? And I found school to be really boring, to be honest with you. And it was all about remembering, understanding, and application via a lot of homework, so I didn't enjoy it. And I really have to thank my parents to offer me the opportunity to leave Macau and come to the UK to study. Otherwise, I'm very confident that I will make a lot of mistakes and bad choices that will ruin my life and career. So UK gave me time to reflect, to learn about life, about career, and most importantly, my role and contribution to society. So I owe to my parents and the UK. Now, let me tell you 2 turning points. The first one is learning about art and design, because it made me think about everything and question everything around me. And later on, I found my vision that inspired me to move forward and had a reason and purpose for my life. And because of this vision, I'm motivated to move forward until today. And now, in terms of culture, environment, and system in the UK, to be honest, it is totally different from Macau. Initially, I was quite critical about everything I see in the UK because I'm not used to it, because it's so different. And until one day, a professor at Kingston University, he said, "Fernando, different culture has different values." And I was like, wow. That really changed the way I see everything around me. I started to appreciate diversity and the perfection of imperfection. So it made things a lot more interesting and beautiful. So my advice to all the haters out there is appreciate the beauty of diversity. If you are in the UK, appreciate its culture and its value, so you can take something away from this place. If you don't like it, move on and leave. As simple as that. Yeah, so my little story.
Oh, thanks for sharing. And your opinion about people's conception into seeing things is how you're going to evaluate yourself.
Yeah, because a reflection is a very, very important part. That's how we learn,
Right.
how we understand the world.
We heard you have been a visitor guest lecturer for many universities as well.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a bit more about this and what have you been teaching there?
Yeah, I do quite a few. I go around the UK, European countries, and also trying to integrate quite a few in Asia and Middle East. And most of these training programs, they relate to entrepreneurial skills development and entrepreneurship. And I do another one when when I go back home to Macau. In brief, I promote design thinking in education, aiming to stimulate reform in the education system that supports the well-being of children and students. I'm quite against the traditional approaches that are being used in Asia that believe that learning is all about injecting ridiculous amount of information in students' head. This approach, it's already creating a lot of logical issues and well-being of children and students. I am actually trying my best to stimulate reform in Macau, especially in the education system, because it is making me quite angry about it. I'm trying my best, trying to create a better kind of environment for the kids.
Wow, we believe you have been doing really hard for this, which you...
It's quite noble, I guess.
Yes, quite noble, yes. We heard you also have developed your few for-profit and social enterprises with a number of entrepreneurs. What projects are you currently working on?
Yeah, I've got quite a lot because, I just can't stop thinking. I have a number of projects working with a range of entrepreneurs in design, in education, financial services, and entertainment. And many of those I can't reveal here at the moment because we are still developing the concepts. But however, what I can tell you here is that I am a co-founder of a social enterprise called Ximeng Association of Macau. If I say it in Cantonese, it's Ximeng Aumun Hiệp hội. And our purpose is to tackle issues of social exclusion and support social mobility via education. So this relates to people with disability, elderly, single parents, ethnic minorities, or people with criminal records, low-income families, or unemployed, or orphans, and so on. We believe that education and knowledge can stimulate social mobility and create social inclusion. For this reason, when I go back to Macau for my holiday, I do quite a lot of social work to make my stay a lot more meaningful.
Yeah, that's very meaningful. You have
makes
been
me happy.
doing. Would you like to share what's your plan for the forthcoming year?
For New Year, yes. Well, in brief, I'm trying to find more time for my publishing, as I have so many different ideas for papers, and also found a good writing partner, and her name is Natalie Sappleton. We are quite happy working together. We are writing quite a lot of drafts, and planning to write another 20 papers together. But nonetheless, this can be restrained or facilitated by the university via their allocation of my time for different priorities. Let's hope they give me a good time. And I have a number of papers in the pipeline as well. And I'm quite addicted at the moment. I want to have a lot of things published because it is my love for knowledge creation and sharing. So my work is another way for me to inspire and influence people. So this is my new plan for 2012.
Oh.
Apart from watching the Olympics game, of course.
Oh, good luck. We look forward to seeing your papers.
Yeah, I'll share it.
Is anything else you'd like to add on?
Let me share my wisdom to conclude my
yes,
interview.
please.
Yeah? This is like for all. Life is too short. Do something meaningful to yourself, to others, and to society. At least when you die, your contribution is meaningful to you and to many. Be a good person. Love others. And if we all do that, humanity and society can be sustained with love, happiness, and peace. So everyone in any profession can join this revolution. And I wish you all a very happy Christmas and meaningful New Year.